Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of our homeland, Eretz Yisroel May G-d. May God protect our brave soldiers, and may God return all the hostages from Gaza immediately. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Edward Ben Efraim, Shlomo Ben Edward, whose Yortzeit is next week, and Yirachmiel Daniel Ben Gedalia. May their souls all be uplifted, and may their memories be a blessing for their families. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Tsavo, leaving the past behind so we have a future. Our Parsha continues Moshe's final address to the Jewish nation. He begins by teaching them the laws applicable only once they settle and come to the land of Israel. The first commandment is Bikurim, the mitzvah of bringing the first fruit of each year's harvest to the temple, to the Beis Mikdash. This commandment specifically pertains to the 7 fruits of the land of Israel: wheat, barley, dates, figs, grapes, pomegranates, and olives. Each year, people from across the land of Israel would join the procession of farmers bringing their fruits to God. They would sing, dance, and play musical instruments and accompany the farmers as they headed towards Jerusalem, towards the Beis Mikdash, and to perform this special commandment. Moshe then reminds the nation of the profound blessings they will receive for following in God's path, for following God's commands. But he also speaks of the curses, the pain, the suffering that has plagued our history due to our failure to follow God's commands. He points out that God has selected us to be his nation, and therefore it is incumbent upon us to act like we are God's chosen people. However, a question comes to mind. Our Parsha is always read before the holiday of Rosh Hashana, and the Talmud in Megillah explains why. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar states that Ezra enacted that the Jewish people should always read the portions of the curses recorded in our Torah portion in the book of Devarim before Rosh Hashana. But why would Ezra implement the reading of such harsh curses right before the new year, right before Rosh Hashana? What is the purpose of reading the suffering, the pain that has plagued our history from back then to most recently today, as we prepare to crown Hashem as our King, as we prepare to enter into the upcoming year? Tosfos, a collection of rabbinical commentary on the Talmud, gives a simple explanation. Tosfos explains that although the curses must be read before Rosh Hashanah, before the New Year's, they are not read directly before Rosh Hashanah. For example, this year we will read our Torah portion, Parshas Tsavo, and then the next 2 Torah portions next week, Nitzavim and Vayelech, before Rosh Hashanah. According to Tosfos, there must be a break between the curses of our Parsha and the New Year. And this ensures we do not enter the new year with a bad taste of the suffering described in our Torah portion, but part of our history. The break gives us time to reflect on the lessons, preparing ourselves for Rosh Hashanah without focusing solely on the suffering, allowing ourselves to step forward with a clear mind, ready to crown God as our King once again. However, the Talmud itself gives a deeper and more profound explanation. Rav Shimon ben Lakish, known as Reish Lakish, and Amira, a rabbi in the Talmudic era, answers this question by stating, Kedei shetichla hashana uklal, so the year concludes along with its curses. According to Reish Lakish, Ezra established a conscious practice to end the year with all the problems, with all the issues, with all the challenges of that year, so that we are able to leave it behind and experience the new year without being limited by the past. We read the curses to create a clear distinction, to create a clear separation from the difficulties of the previous years and the opportunities of the year ahead. A transition that enables us to enter the new year embracing our potential for growth, embracing our potential for success, embracing our potential to fulfill God's desire for us in this world. And this is all done in Rosh Hashanah as we leave the past behind and crown God as King over the universe once again. This profound lesson is especially relevant as preparations ramp up for Rosh Hashanah and the Day of Judgment. As we stand before God, we are given the chance to let go of the challenges, the obstacles that held us back in the previous year. It is now a time to focus on the opportunities and of the potential of the growth that lie ahead. Our actions, our mindset during this period determines how we embrace the new year. hopefully with strength to overcome previous hardships and the vision to seize success. In our daily life, it is imperative to realize that we often carry the weight of past challenges, past trauma, limiting the fulfillment of our potential, limiting our growth. But the key to growth is not dwelling in past failures, but in learning from them and moving forward with a renewed sense of purpose, with a renewed sense of growth. We have the power to shape our future by setting aside the difficulties of yesterday, leaving them behind, and embracing the opportunities ahead. Whether it is in our relationships, in our careers or personal goals, our success is determined by our mindset and actions. By focusing on what we can achieve rather than what has gone wrong, we lead ourselves towards a year of success, a year of meaning, a year of growth. There's a powerful quote from Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks of blessed memory. Tshuva tells us that our past does not determine our future. We can change. We can act differently next time than the last. And if anything, our future determines our past. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.